Hello, everyone. So, we're going to talk about blowing roses. This is our teaching. So, the most important thing about blowing roses is I want you to think about the concept of creating and destroying as being equal parts. So, this technique is really letting go of the old to make room for the new. So, specifically, old ideas that you have about yourself that you possibly have been saying about yourself for years, and really establishing a pattern of releasing energy, like when you have a negative thought, when you have a harsh thought, when you have an outdated thought. So the rose is the metaphor. It's really about divine love, protection, transformation, and we talk about that more in the theory of the rose and why we use the rose. But the most important thing for you to know right now is that it's a metaphor for your life. And each aspect of that growth cycle of the rose represents our own life, and that we are the seed of the rose ourselves, and that we go through trials and tribulations and harsh winters and times where we really flourish and times when we fall back, and that the rose symbolizes that. This is really an exercise in clearing out the things that are no longer useful in your life, no longer a resource for you, no longer feeding you. And I use your closet as an example of that when you look at your closet, and most of us will keep cramming stuff in there until the end of time, stuff that maybe even one time when I was helping somebody, was styling her, she whipped out a pair of, and you know who you are, she whipped out a pair of jeans from 8th grade. So that's too long to hang on to a pair of jeans. But, you know, it's kind of like our thought process. We hang on to these things and they become subconscious thoughts, and we end up creating around those thoughts. So this is really about looking at the closet of life and looking at the things inside and clearing that out. And I actually use the closet as something that you can do right now to change things up, because it's a physical space. So, you know, a utility drawer, pick something at home that's physical that you can clear out, and just notice how that feels to let go of the old stuff. And then begin to work, keeping it simple, begin to work on some of your thought processes. What can you change inside of yourself that you begin to recognize as outdated and harsh and mean-spirited, typically, towards yourself. So, and then we're going to blow it up in a rose. So when we think about the rose, what in blowing roses, it's a letting go technique. For letting go of those old thought patterns that you don't realize you're recycling, and you're acting from that. Just like, you know, trying to wear things that you wore in 8th grade because it looked great and it represented, you know, your 8th grade skinny self or whatever it is. Who knows what it is? But that, you know, many of the things that we think get so rooted in our unconscious and subconscious minds that we don't even realize we're doing it anymore. So this is going to require a little bit of experimentation and examining yourself. But start in your physical environment first, and look at what you need to release yourself from. You can't create anew if you're not willing to let go of your past. You really don't create the new stuff and the good stuff because you don't have room. This is a process of making room, so creating and destroying. And analogy that I like to use is that idea of field burning, that I don't know if you've all seen what it looks like when you burn a field, but it creates a lot of smoke and good stuff actually for the soil. So it burns out disease and toxins, and ash is a natural fertilizer for a compost for the next thing to grow. And that's what we're gonna do. So there's a story after this. Think about the things you do in your life. There's a story about roses in the Hindu trilogy, some little nuggets about that. And but just look around your life and see what you can let go of. So that'd be that. Blowing roses, fun, creating and destroying. Pop, pop, pop. That's what I always hear when I'm letting go of those icky thoughts.